What's going on, friends? It's been a while since I talked to everybody. I've been stewing on this video for a pretty significant amount of time. It's a really tough topic to talk about because it hits me close to home. It's one of those things that has affected me personally, and it's affected friends that I've known, and it affects a lot of people, realistically. Between depression and suicide, most people know somebody that's been affected by one of the two. And it's been on my mind for months. But I've put this off. I procrastinated so bad because it's tough. It's very, very personal. And I'll probably break this up into 1 or 2 videos because that's a lot to tackle in just 5-6 minutes or something like that. So I'm gonna try and knock this out pretty quick. And then maybe I'll do another one. I'm pretty sure I will do another one because it's hard. But jumping right into it, I guess we'll start with depression because suicide's, I guess, stems from a number of things. You can view it as a sickness. You can view it as a mental health issue. You can view it as a way out of life. Every person who commits suicide, their reasons are different. But it's terrible nonetheless. I'll cover that one next. I'll start with depression. It's a little easier to talk about. It's not death. It's an ongoing issue with some people. Some people it comes and goes and spouts. I'll just tell you about mine. I've been through my own time periods in my life where I was 100% depressed. There's no way around it. I didn't want to admit it. Definitely didn't want to do that. But that's what it was. I didn't seek professional help because through other means, I was able to tackle that obstacle. I was able to progress through it with the help of friends and family and working through that struggle and finding a way to succeed in life when emotionally I didn't want to. It's a whole kind of picture. There's no one clear-cut answer to depression, especially when it can be clinical or mental or the slew of things to go on. But mine was, I guess, just situation and life driven. It was a number of things. It was stress. Stress is such a big key there. And then a part of it was feeling like I wasn't going anywhere in life and my career wasn't matching up to what I thought it would be. So it's a culmination of things. All of these things combined, and some other things we'll probably get into another time, got me in that place in life. And it wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't like it was driven by some of the other videos I've talked about. This was just too much. And yeah, I guess the thought of suicide has probably crossed my mind one or two times during that time period. But in the end, it wasn't a viable option. It wasn't the way out. Finding a solution to the problem was... I desired that. I thought about killing myself. But the desire to get past that and beat it and be there for my family and friends, and I've personally seen the aftermath of what happens when someone commits suicide. And it's permanent. It doesn't last a long time. It is a permanent effect on all the people's lives around you. Suicide is a thing that will take a toll on everyone else for the rest of their lives. 2 friends of mine, military members. One of them committed suicide, and the other one still deals with it today. Now, they were extremely close. They were very, very close friends. They were roommates, so on and so forth. And the one who's still here today, he'll tell you about it, and it doesn't go away. So that wasn't an option for me. When I thought about what it did, what I had seen, I wasn't going to choose that path. So I wanted to find a solution. There were a number of ways I did it, because when you're in depression, when you're in the midst of it, the answer, the peak of the mountain, the way out is almost never clear. You feel in your heart, or at least I did, that there was no out of this. I was never going to feel better. I was never going to get better. My life situation could never change. How could it ever change? I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't rich enough. I wasn't happy. I was miserable. And I was focused on that misery. And that led me to the thought of suicide. And that led me to the thought of quitting or leaving my family, or all of the nasty thoughts that went through my head, because it's not going to be one thing. If you get deep in depression, it can just keep freaking going down a dark, dark, dark path. The key is picking a stopping point, saying, this is what I'm fighting back. Because it's a fight. It's not just climbing the mountain. This is going to be a battle in your mind, in your soul, in your heart. It's your whole life. You are fighting to continue living. Or at least living happy anyways. Because I'm a guy who likes to wear a smile. I'm always happy. I love seeing people smile and laugh, and I'm all about that. I love it. I want more of it all the time. Everybody. I don't care how grumpy they are. I don't care how abrasive they are. I used to have a customer when I used to sell for Bob's Wheel Alignment, that this dude, I swore I was going to kill him with kindness. I was going to see that man smile one day, and I did. It took me 5 years to do it, but I made that man start to come in happy. But it's easy to hide that when you're a happy person, and eventually I became practiced at it. Nobody knew. Nobody knew for a long time. I just bottled it all up, and that's a dangerous game to play. The dude I was telling you about earlier who killed himself, happiest guy in the world, had all the friends, got along with everybody. You would never know that he was going to commit suicide until the day it happened. Nobody saw it coming. That's how I lived my life when I was in depression. Nobody was going to see it coming. When I was going to do it, it was just going to be it. No goodbye note. No nothing. Just, that was it. I was going to do it one day. I don't want to hurt people. I was going to try and do it in secret. But whatever. The point is that you wouldn't have known it. You would have not been able to see that I was going to make that choice. That was in a really dark place in my life where I could not find a way out. But anyways, I started that battle, that choice to find a way to peace and happiness, to find a way to be content in my situation. Dad told me one time that if you can learn to be content, no matter your situation, you can find true joy and happiness. Because I was trying to quit. I was trying to quit a job. And he's like, well, why are you going to quit? I was like, well, I'm not happy. He's like, well, if you quit now, you're just not going to be happy at the next one. You do that, you're not going to be happy at the next one. You can quit eventually, but you need to learn to be content and find joy no matter what your situation is in life. If you can do that, you can survive any trial. And that's what I did. I began that journey. And it took me a year or two to really get to where I felt like it wasn't a daily or a weekly occurrence, that I was in this rut. And then just takes a long time. You have to be patient. It's probably the toughest part, being patient, because you want to be happy now. I want to be happy right now. I don't want this feeling anymore. It just sucks the energy out of you. You're tired all the time. You're angry. You're easily agitated. You don't find joy in things that you used to. That was really hurtful. Things that, dude, I loved. I wouldn't mess with it anymore. I could pick up a video game or a book, or go outside for a bike ride, or go for a run, and found no joy in any of it at all. Not even a little bit. So once I began the journey, every day that I succeeded, the next day was easier. It didn't seem like it at the time. It took me a couple of weeks and almost months to realize this. But when I've made my first self-evaluation 6 months in, I then realized that 6 months, that marker from day one, whoa. I was like, hang on here. I'm making progress, because I almost gave up. When I hit that 6 month marker, I was like, I'm done. I'm out. I just want to do the thing. But I didn't. Because then I realized, wait a minute, I'm making progress. I'm happier. I found goals and a drive, and I'm not going to give this up. That point, if you can reach that point, that you have found the goal or the girl or the guy you like, or the new job that you want, something to drive you. Having a child is not the solution. I'm not saying that, but having a child brings joy. If you can take that life and realize you're going to invest in it forever, and this is going to be something that you're literally creating life, and it's an extremely joyful feeling. Not saying go do that just to get out of depression, because that's not the answer. That just became a part of the journey. Anyways, here are some of the scriptures that got me through my time. Now, one or two of these is actually cliche. You've probably heard it before, but it worked. It did the trick. Tried and true, right? So I'm not going to steer away from that. So Psalms 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. For your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table set before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely the goodness and loving kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Everybody's heard that. Doesn't mean it doesn't ring true in my situation. When you're in that pit, if you can see the candle, if you can see the lighthouse, you've got a place to go. Focus on that. If you can focus on that moment, you can walk away from the darkness and reach the light. That's depression's like that. You've got to find a beginning. You've got to make that first step. And then you can't give up. If you give up, it will be worse than when it began. You'll have the occasional falter, but to get out of it, you've got to make that first step and then realize it will get easier. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't leave this world just yet when you still have friends and family who care about you. I'm gonna read a couple more because I'm running out of time here, but these are all equally as potent as the other. This is Psalms 30, verse 5. For his anger is but for a moment. His favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may last for the night, but a shout of joy comes in the morning. And that's kind of how I felt. Like, again, I know some people listening to this aren't going to be, followers of Christianity or maybe any religion. I want you to think about it, though, from a non-religious aspect. These words of text do have wisdom in them, regardless of what you believe in. When I would get slam trashed, when I would get drunk off my mind and could not remember the next day, I do remember the feeling, though, when I was in that depression. I was drinking to try and make it go away. It was heartbreaking. The amount of self-pity I had for myself when I got that drunk. But in the morning, and when I recovered from my ridiculous hangover, and I began the journey again, I realized, okay, this is set a 24-hour clock. You can do this. You can get through the night, one day at a time, one night at a time. 24 hours, man. Just one step at a time. Don't give up. All right. I think this is the last one, and then I'll stop bothering people who definitely don't want to hear the scripture. But I want you to listen. Psalms 34, verse 4. I sought the Lord, and he answered me, and he delivered me from all my fears. Fine, don't seek God. Don't believe him. That's okay. But you can seek a friend. You can call me. My number's going to be attached to the bottom of this, I guarantee it. Somebody wants to help you through this. Don't do it alone. You're not alone. Nobody's alone. You think you are. There's always somebody out there who's been through the same thing, or who's willing to try and save a life, or just keep you from being miserable. God, it's so miserable you being depressed and alone. Don't live that life. You don't have to make that choice. You can make a choice to find joy and to get out of your depression. I did it. I'm an example. You can succeed. Don't give in to the emotions and that voice inside your head. Don't quit on me. There's a note in here also. This this Bible. My dad went through it, every single page. And he wrote all these cool little notes in the side here, and next to Psalms 33, verse 18, which is, "Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him, on those who hope in his loving kindness." And then 19 through 22, I'll read a little bit of it. "To deliver their soul from death, and to keep them alive and fan them. Our soul waits for the Lord." It's so positive. And it just keeps going and going. "Let your loving kindness, O Lord, be upon us according to as we have hoped in you." Dad set off to the side. Hope in him. Wait on him. Trust in him. It's a process. It's not just one sentence. This whole thing is a process, man. I'm going to cut the video off here because we're getting pretty long. I'm going to do another one on this. I'll talk more about the suicide portion. That's a little deeper. Sorry I went on the 15 minutes, guys. Or 16 almost. This one's hard to talk about and not dive deep. I'm still climbing that mountain every day. It's easy to slip back into depression if you let yourself. Or you can choose every day to look for that lighthouse. You can choose every day to not let the emotions become overbearing. Emotions and your actions based on those emotions. The actions are a choice. You can feel sad, you can feel angry, you can feel depressed, you can feel happy. If you're happy, you laugh. If you're angry, you want to hit something. The emotion, you might not necessarily be able to control, but your attitude and your actions, those are controllable. That is a choice you have. Choose to take actions rather than respond and have a poor attitude based on the emotion. The emotions revolving inside and out of depression can be overwhelming. But I practiced making responses and acting the way I wanted to feel. And eventually my smile, I noticed, oh, I feel a little bit better today. Hey, Josh laughed. Hey, my friend told a cool story and I did enjoy it. Depression doesn't have to be all ending. Again, I'm not a doctor. I understand that sometimes it's clinical and you need help. Go get help. But in my situation, you can fight. You can win. Don't give up. Climb the mountain with me every day. Take the first step. Hit that 6-month marker, and then you'll see just how big of a difference it is. I love you guys. God bless. Stay classy.